Hello, I'm Alex. Welcome to my channel. So today I have another story for you. It is about a DoorDash driver, and as you know from the thumbnail, it's not something good that's happened, very unfortunately. But what I'll do in this video, I will tell the story from the beginning to the end, and I will give some of my commentary in between. So stay tuned. So it's April 18th, 2023 in Tampa, Florida. You have a woman who is unnamed, who is, like most people, they're working for a living, they're trying to make ends meet, and in this case she's working as a DoorDash driver. So I know most of you know what DoorDash is, but for those that don't know, it is a food service delivery app. So when you're at home, you want some Chili's, or have some kind of craving for some chicken wings or whatever, late at night, you go and contract somebody through DoorDash to bring that food to you to your doorstep. I've done DoorDash delivery myself, so I kind of know how it is. People, they're craving food, it's late at night, and sometimes those deliveries are done in not the best of areas, and I mean, I've had situations, I'll tell you maybe in a different video, but I've had people running after me just out of nowhere. I'm not sure if they were trying to rob me or what, or they thought I looked like somebody, but it was pretty scary stuff. But sorry for the sidebar there. On April 18th, 2023, this unknown woman, she was doing deliveries. She happened to do it in a part of town at a hotel, actually. And while she was doing that delivery, let's just say she ran into somebody she did not want to run into. So this woman in her early 20s, she was delivering in a residence inn. I'm sure that you've seen these places. They're very nice, but she was probably thinking, hey, this isn't too bad. Maybe I'll just do a quick drop off of this food and get out of here. However, before she could even get into the hotel, she was in the parking lot. A man came out of nowhere with a gun and pointed it right at her and forced her back into her car. But fate would have it that she wasn't going to be unnoticed. She had AirPods on, so these are earbuds that are from Apple. She had them on and she was on the phone with her girlfriend. Her girlfriend quickly realized there was a robbery going on and she knew she had to do something. The girlfriend quickly called the police, and that's great. That's what she should have done, and what they did is the police were able to track her location based on the GPS, I would imagine, that would be on her phone. Very unfortunately, before they got there, there's an account from the victim of what had happened. What had happened was horrible. She was violated in such a way that no woman should have to experience.
I started crying and I started telling him, like, please no, like, don't make me do it, like, I'll just leave and like never tell anyone about it. But you can take my jewelry, you can take my coat bag, like, I just want to go home, like, I'm not gonna tell anyone. He was basically telling me that if I didn't do that, he was gonna kill me already.
The police and the family of the girlfriend were at the scene, and for some reason, it seemed that the family got there first, and Killins, the man's name, he was there, he knew he had been caught, and he started shooting at the family, and he struck one of the family members. So Joseph Killins, he got away. He scrambled out of there, and they weren't able to apprehend him. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what happened. But thank goodness the family member who was shot and the victim, in this case that is unnamed, she didn't have life-threatening injuries. So they did go to the hospital, they had their wounds checked, but at least they were alive, and of course they got some healing to do. Something like this is very traumatic. And for whatever reason, this Joseph Killins guy, they didn't know who he was at this point. I'm just telling you his name, how it's been identified now. But at the time, he was unknown. They had to make a composite sketch of what he looked like. So here's a picture of it. I know these aren't really perfect. They look kind of goofy as opposed to the actual real person. But Killins got away. And the very next day, it just seemed like he was on a spree of violence. He was attacking this woman, and then now he had got to this other lady and punched her in the face and stole her bag. So this guy just seemed to be on a total mission to just attack people and say F the world. It's very unfortunate that people, when they're at this level, they feel like they got nothing to lose and they're just going to go after everybody. And I kind of feel that these are the most dangerous people when they are on these types of rampages. As you know, in the news, when people are going on rampages, they're usually having a certain state of mind where nothing matters to them. But the interesting thing was where he punched this lady, it was the same location in which he assaulted the lady the day before. So in most cases, as you know, in a lot of these crime videos, I'm sure that you've watched, typically they go to the same scene of the crime. For some reason, they kind of feel like they got to relive what they had done as if it's some kind of accomplishment, and they want to kind of, soak it in. So detectives were able to piece certain things together, and they ended up finding Joseph Killins at a nearby inn to apprehend him. So once they apprehended him, they actually saw some of the items that he had stolen from both of the women. After apprehending him, they looked more into his history, and he had a rap sheet. One of aggravated battery, burglary, all sorts of bad things. This guy had a pattern that was building up to this, and it just kind of seemed that he was just ticked off and probably didn't care that he was going back to prison. I'm not sure what was going on in his mind, but it kind of seems that way. It seemed like he didn't really care the consequences. He was just so brazen, doing this out in the open, and in the same places, no less. And as you can see here on this court footage, he does have a lawyer representing him as prescribed by law, and it was very audacious what they did. I couldn't believe they did it. They actually tried to get out on bail by saying like, hey, just let me out, I can just pay a fine. But the judge, here, listen to this, she's basically saying, no, there's no way that's going to happen.
You are a coward, sir. You're a coward for attacking these women. You're a coward with a propensity for violence. There is no way I would release you.
So the judge calls him cowardly, saying there's no way she is going to let him out on the streets right now. And for good reason. What he did is, who knows what would have happened? What would have happened if he would have continued R-ing the woman from the previous night? So at the time of this video, he hasn't actually been sentenced yet, but it's not looking too great for him based on the mountain of DNA evidence, the video footage that shows him at the scene. If you can see on this footage, he's obviously walking through there. There's just too much against him on this. So his charges are armed battery and armed kidnapping, because he took the woman, he kidnapped her, put her in the car, and forced her to drive to a location. So that is that, and robbery with a firearm because he used a gun. So these charges are very serious. It's very felonious. There's probably not a good chance that he's going to get out anytime soon. So that's pretty much it for this video. I do appreciate you taking the time to watch it. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to comment if you have any insight into this case. But there will be more videos to come. And until then, I will see you on the next video.